What's going on, Hobby and Development fans? It's Tyler again. Thank you for bearing with me while I got through my move. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I put out any painting tutorials or anything like that. So I've moved. I'm in the new apartment and I've got my hobby room all set up here. I'll put some B-roll of the hobby room in here before we get started with the tutorial. But today we're going to be taking a look at another comic book style painting tutorial. It's going to be a quick one. It's one that everybody's kind of suggested along the Tau theme. It's going to be the white and blue theme for Tau, and it came along really well, and I'm really happy with the results. So I hope you like it, and make sure we get a nice shot of the hobby dog, Molly. She loves it in here. Love the new place, don't you, pup? Yeah, she's down here. And we'll get right into the tutorial. So before we get too far into it, I want to mention all the paints that we're going to be using. We're going to be using Mechanicus Standard Gray, Administratum Gray, White Scar, Cantor Blue, Temple Guard Blue. We're going to be using a shade, Dragunov Nightshade, a little bit of Lamian Medium, and we're going to be using, for red, Evil Sunz Scarlet. Now before we began the video, I base coated it with Mechanicus Standard Gray, just to get a nice base coat down. And then the next thing that I do is I mix Mechanicus Standard Gray and Administratum Gray in about a 50-50 mix, just to get a lighter base coat. I didn't want to start with pure Mechanicus Standard Gray. I found it ended up being just a little bit too dark. Following this, I take the shade Dragunov Nightshade and I apply this generously to all the surfaces. Try not to let it pool too much on the flat areas, but it'll get covered anyways. The objective of this is to tint all the Mechanicus Standard Gray, including the recesses, just a shade of blue. It will help pull all the effects together in the end and make it look just a little bit more interesting. So again, Dragunov Nightshade applied to the entire model. When the Dragunov Nightshade is dry, I go over the Mechanicus Standard Gray with Administratum Gray and cover most of the model, leaving only a little bit of the underlying gray showing in all the recesses, and when you get close to details that join together, leave just a little bit of the Mechanicus Standard Gray showing. And you're going to cover most of the entire model in this. When you get to the underside of the model, you're just going to do selective highlighting with the Administratum Gray. You're going to leave it a little more dark because light would not be hitting this area of the model. When that layer is dry, you're going to be mixing equal parts salami medium, white scar, and administratum gray. And then you're going to apply in the same way as the previous administratum gray layer, except you're going to be working in a smaller area inside the administratum gray that you just laid down. Then the final step in highlighting the white paint pattern is to use just plain white scar. And much like the previous layer, you're applying it inside the mix of white scar and administratum gray in an even smaller section as you go along. When the following layer is dry, now we're going to add a stripe for decoration using Cantor Blue. And you can apply this pretty much anywhere. In this case, I'm applying it just to the right side of the drone, kind of up until the center, and then I block it off. And I also add a little bit to the tip of the marker light barrel, just to add a little bit of variety. Then I add Temple Guard Blue to highlight the Cantor Blue, and I don't actually show it. I think I forgot when I was recording, but I later went in and added a little bit of white scar inside that to highlight the Temple Guard Blue. After that, all that's left to do, again, I will go back and add that the white highlight in the Temple Guard Blue, but all that's left to do now is ink the edges of the model, and I've been using these Micron paint pens to good effect. So I use 2 on the Micron paint pen scales, and I edge highlight everything, outline everything, and do various etchings on the surface of the model to give it that comic book type of feel. And then after that, I will tackle the lenses of the model. To do the lenses, I first use Evil Sunz Scarlet, and then I will put a dash of white in the upper top right section of all the lenses. Then I go through and finish up the inking with the Micron paint pen and just circle all the lenses just to finish it off. And with that, the model is done. Here's the final reveal.